way back when I started this channel originally, the whole point of it, the reason I did it was because I wanted to just watch some anime and yap about it. Like that was the primary impetus for me to do it, is just watch some anime and then yap for a bit about that anime. That was the whole reason why. And then eventually I got distracted by other things and did many other things. I did so many other things, in fact, that quite a lot of people subscribed to this channel might not know that I used to do this on here. But I did, and I still want to do it, and I haven't because of some reason, probably my neurodivergence, who knows, I don't really care. What I care about is I want to watch anime. But the way that I do it on this channel, if you've not been along to one of these before, is a little bit unusual, because I don't want to edit this video. I really, I want to do as little editing as humanly possible to any of this. I want to be lazy. This is technically just my post whatever the fuck I want channel, without editing, without quality control, without anything. How it has 50,000 subscribers is fucking beyond me, but nonetheless, here we are. So, the way that I do my little anime reactions is that I've implemented a countdown system, which requires you to find the episode of the anime yourself, put it up on your screen, and then you gotta listen to me, because I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, and then you're gonna play the anime, and then we're gonna sit here and we're gonna watch it, and then eventually something's gonna happen where I go, ooh, I want to talk about that. Then I'll say 3, 2, 1, stop. And then we'll stop and we'll talk about the whatever it is that's happened, like generic NPC anime man here. He's interesting. We need to have a long conversation about him for about 45 minutes before I continue to watch the episode of the anime. That's the way it works. I will do my thing. You're going to have to keep yourself synchronized with what I'm doing. And on screen, I have a very heavily processed version of the anime playing in the background in a way that, so far at least, I think has been successfully avoiding copyright problems. And also, up in the top left corner, all the way up there, you have a timer that tells you at exactly what second and minute and frame I am in the anime, which should make it reasonably feasible for you to keep up with what I'm doing. This is troublesome and annoying, and I fully recognize that. Too bad for you, because it's more convenient for me, and that's why I'm doing it this way. So yeah, I hope that explanation made sense. I don't know if it did. I have not had my ADHD meds today because I forgot them. I forgot to take them in the morning, and then I went about my morning and had my breakfast and eventually my lunch, and then I was like, oh, I'm tired and I'm gonna have a nap, and then I woke up, and then it was way too late to take my ADHD meds, so now I haven't taken them. But I also didn't take them yesterday for exactly the same reason, because I forgot to take them in the morning, and then it was too late to take them, and then it was like, oh shit, I need to remember to take them in the morning. So I've been off them for a couple of days. I don't know if you can tell. This is gonna be perhaps a little bit more chaotic than usual, but anyway, Frieren. I like this anime. I want to talk about it. So let's do that. And let's start in 3, 2, 1, go. Until you took an arrow to the knee? The reason why there's a white bit down there at the bottom of the screen is because I have this little filter going that's theoretically supposed to make the subtitles always show up. Just because I figure that's convenient for figuring out where we are. I really do wish I could just extract the subtitle files from... Well, I suppose I could, couldn't I? I could just extract the subtitle files and then put them in... Oh, I've thought of something. Okay, I'll need to mess around with that later. For now, I'm gonna try and keep my attention on watching this good anime that I really like. Self-loathing, indeed. He was a kind and caring gorilla. Okay, then. Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. I do, I do like the sort of like that's a very funny thing because like that's such a modernistic image, right? Of like the fuck up burnout who's like exhausted and like miserable with like his dreams and tatters and like, oh my god, my life is pointless and it's turned out nothing and I'm like exhausted and tired, is like sitting behind a building, sort of hunched over, smoking a cigarette. Like that's the image of the burnout, right? Like that's the trope of the visual trope of like the guy who's burned out and tired, and like it's just funny that like we're in this alternate reality, magical fantasy land, and like far, but that it's coding, right? Like it's the way that we tell these stories with these visual signifiers that's based on our real world culture and understanding, and like in this case a real world anime trope, right? But then you transpose them into worlds where, hang on, why would that be the thing? Do they know that smoking is bad for you? Like, do they know that, smoking is something that like is culturally associated with stress and like overwork or depression or sadness, or like that smoking and the cigarette itself is like a visual signifier of I am doing something unhealthy to myself to cope with, what, like in order to receive some relief from tension or stress or misery. Like, does that exist as a cultural concept in Frieren's world? Do they have that? Do they have that idea of like someone who has a nicotine addiction because that's how they deal with their stress at work? I guess they do. Like that's technically what this visual imagery is telling us, is that trope, that particular kind of character archetype in narrative exists in Frieren's world as well. The reality, of course, is it's here for our benefit. This is imagery that we understand to mean those things. But it's just one of those little funny things. Also, it definitely, like, I don't know if these guys are going to be relevant characters at all. I don't get the sense from their character design that they're going to be particularly important, but who knows? I could be wrong. But also, you know, like a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, let's unpause. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Uh huh. Okay, so it's supposed to be a flagrantly flimsy image in a flimsy story. She's like 1,000 years old, dude. Why are you wearing that to go herb picking, by the way, dude? That's like a dress coat. hell? Okay, so we're doing a comedy episode then. Three, two, one. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to do the countdown. I was just counting down for the comic timing of when the nosebleed was going to happen. Like a naughty puppy. Oh, it's him again. Okay. There we go. That's why. What the fuck is up with this episode? Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. We are 8 minutes, 28 seconds. Weird tone in this particular episode. Very peculiar. Rather odd, quite frankly. This is kind of all over the place. Because, like, it's very funny. Like, it's... But there's also an odd frivolousness to all of this. Where, like, it feels very much like the episode itself is deeply conscious of its inconsequentiality. It feels like a filler episode that knows it's a filler episode. So far, anyway. It feels like it's kind of taking the piss out of itself and taking the piss out of a lot of like sort of tropes of filler episodes, which is to say we begin by introducing our filler episode character who's going to have like a extremely compressed narrative arc with like a tragic backstory, and then our characters interact with him, and it's like by the end of it, oh wow, you've helped me overcome the thing of the whatever of my filler thing, and then we move on and we never care about him. Like that, it feels like it's kind of doing a parody of filler episodes so far. I don't know if that's the case. Like it might bring something back around, or it might just be a silly little filler episode. It's just the tone of this, the way characters are acting and reacting, the way the visual language of the thing is behaving is interesting. Okay, let's hang on. Like the fucking tiny wash tub. It's like we're practicing austerity. And this, what the fuck? What a weird tone for a show like Frieren. And that also comes through in the character design to a certain extent. Is like it's a trope in anime, right? But character with brown hair or any natural hair color is like, oh, okay, NPC, right? Like it's like, oh, you have a natural hair color, that means you're a background character, and you, generally speaking, don't matter very much, especially if it's a natural hair color without a particularly interesting or distinctive style. And the rest of his character design is very much also quite like that. He looks like the jacket is fancy enough, right, that he doesn't look like just random background NPC, like villager model number 87. The jacket is definitely too fancy for that, but there's also just absolutely nothing or interesting or memorable about him otherwise. He just has the jacket, right? The face is as painfully generic as it gets. There's almost a weird mismatch, honestly, between this tiny childlike face and like the fact that he's got a bit of stubble going on. There's something odd about this guy's character, especially like you look at him relative to like Frieren and Fern and Stark, right? How much more detail, how many more like individualizing features they have in the way that they're put together. And this guy is just generic McNobody number 87. But then, of course, the episode is spending a lot of time with him, right? Like sort of making him important to the story. It's odd the way that like the interaction initially between him and Frieren, it plays a little like a seduction almost, right? It plays, well, not a seduction, but like a temptation, that he's like he's trauma dumping on her. He's telling her like his sad, tragic backstory. Right, and giving, like, we get this flashback with him and his friend, whom he was gay for, probably. And he's sitting there, sad Burnout, and then invited to join him as an adventurer. And then, I'm gonna bet you money right now, by the way, that this guy probably died of poison. I'm just gonna bet you money right now. This guy died of poison. That guy learned to be real good at poison curing because of that guy died of poison. Gonna be something like that. But the way that it's played, right? Like, he has this long emotional conversation with Frieren, and Frieren's like, what? Why is this guy talking to me about that? Why is he stuck in quicksand? And he sort of tries to do this thing, how different might my fate be if only you'd take my hand? Like, there's a part of me that's always like, oh, is this a demon trying to lay a trap somehow? Like, is this a thing of like, if you take his hand, he'll drag you into the quicksand and drown you? Like, what's going on here? Because the tone is so odd. But now we're tying it back in. Like, then we get this ridiculous contrivance, right? Like, he says offhandedly, there's a lot of venomous animals around here. Boink. Instantly bitten by a tree snake. And then we get this tension of like, this is actually a really bad poison and it's about to kill him. We go to the priest and it's like, yeah, no, you're actually dead. Omae wa mo shinderu. Your brain will start to melt and run out of your nose, and you'll instantly die. Oh no, wait, look, it's that guy again, and he instantly solves the problem without. So this whole thing of like raising the tensions in the stake. Oh no, Stark has been poisoned. Nothing's gonna happen. It's an odd tone, is all I'm saying. It's an odd tone. But anyway, let's get back to exactly where we were before I paused. And I know it's exact because I used a marker. Aha! So that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. And let's watch some more of this weird episode with the odd tone. Like, the question I have is it gonna stick to this comedy, like, this is a silly filler episode, don't worry about it tone the whole way through? Or is it gonna come up with some fucking revelation about something or other? Because the other thing is, like, the fact that it brings in Highter, the fact that it actually brings in some, like, oh yeah, this has a connection to Frieren's, history. That's the kind of narrative move that you would say, oh, okay, this might be something that's actually about communicating something or mattering in some way. But I don't know, man. The tone here is real weird. I don't know. Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go. Will she? This would be such a weird way to introduce a new party member. This would be a weird way to introduce a new party member. What's with the tone of this? The backgrounds are still gorgeous, though. That's the thing. He's such a copy of Highter. He's gonna lose all the party's money, isn't he? Yeah. Oh, he also lost, did he? Why do you have a six-pack? This is such a weird way to introduce a new party member. He's such a Highter. It's interesting. Three, two, one, pause. See, that's the thing, right? Like, that's the other thing that the episode very explicitly does is Stark is Eisen, Fern is Frieren, but Frieren is Himmel, right? Like, there's the repeat of the journey, right? Like, that's been sort of that theme that's been running through it of like, we're sort of reconstructing the party, which would make Sign here Highter insofar as if he becomes a party member. I am baffled by the tone. Like, I really can't tell if this episode wants me to take any of this seriously. The way that it comedically speedruns through his backstory with yaoi friend Mr. Generico over here. And, like, the deeply uninvested comedy bit of Stark getting nearly poisoned to death and, like, this fucking... And this, the fucking tiny wash tub. Am I supposed to take this episode seriously? Or are we gonna undercut all of this with a silly joke at the end where it turns out that he just, like, stays behind anyway? Like, how? What? I'm honestly baffled. I'm honestly very baffled by the tone of this episode. Because if this is actually, we are recruiting a new party member, like, this guy is gonna show up, he's gonna be a recurring character, he's traveling with the party from now on. Like, compare his recruitment to Stark, right? And it's very, like, the way they speedrun his tragic backstory in a way as though to suggest that you're not supposed to give a shit about it, right? Like, like, the way that his backstory is presented, it's not really presented as you should emotionally engage with this. Like, you should find this compelling. Because, like, we don't really get a sense of the relationship between these two characters, except that, oh yeah, friend, I liked him, and then I didn't go with him, that was it, right? And then immediately we cut to the quicksand joke, which, by the way, how the fuck do you get quicksand in the forest like that? And like we undercut the emotional resonance of his backstory with this comedy bit of Frieren refusing to help while he's slowly sinking into the dirt, and like Fern also being entirely unconcerned. I don't know, man. Weird tonally. I don't know if it was like this in the manga or whatever. It's also like, from a production perspective, clearly this isn't the episode that the animators went ham on, right? Like, this isn't the episode that the animators went, this one really needs to look good. This looks a little bit more like the one the B team was allowed to animate on. Not that it looks bad or anything, just that in terms of production, in terms of directing, in terms of animation, it's a little basic. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm really genuinely quite confused by this episode so far. Am I supposed to engage with this guy? Am I supposed to be like, oh, this guy will be an interesting addition to the party? Because so far, he has no character dynamic with anyone, except Frieren kind of sees a little bit of herself in him because of reasons that have thus far not really been introduced to her character. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Let's pick it back up. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, lovely background. Of course, again, yes, right. And then, like, we repeat the scene of, yeah, me too, man. I'm not really sure. I mean, he's useful for curing poison, I guess. No, Fern. No, he wasn't. Please don't. No. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with. Hey. I don't know, Frieren. You. Oh, no. We're doing this fucking joke again? It would be very funny to see Frieren try and seduce someone. Oh, the subtitles are just gonna say it, are they? Uh-oh. That's not necessarily exactly what the... Right, but that's... I'm sorry, Frieren, you don't necessarily... You don't really qualify in the character design set. No. No. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's because Himmel was a soft boy. Good, please, let's move on from this. Am I supposed to take this seriously? Literalizing it by having them reel in a fish. Is he just gonna get bitten by a poison snake and get taken back? Like, I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to take this seriously at all. The tone of this episode is weird. Okay, I guess he's coming with them. Okay, then. 3, 2, 1, pause. Huh? Really? That's how you're gonna do that? How much of a recurring character is he gonna be? Ooh. I don't think I liked this episode very much. I really don't think I did. Like, they could build him out later with some more, like some detail of his backstory to make it compelling in any way, shape, or form. Because right now it just isn't. God, but the backgrounds, though. Like, the fucking watercolor. I don't know if it's watercolor on paper or digital. Obviously, I assume it's digital, because that seems easier. But, like, man, the fucking backgrounds in this show still, though. Oh, yeah, that's kind of gotta be digital, doesn't it? If it's blending like that? I think it's digital, yeah. Still. And, like, you can also see, like, the little blurring filters and things they're putting on it to, like, really sell the analog vibe of it. Like, oof, the fucking power. Still, as a... What's the point of introducing a major character this way? That's the thing I'm questioning. Like, what's the point of introducing a major character in this way? I mean, he is in the intro, so I guess... Because it's like, we absolutely turbo speedrun the universe's most generic backstory with incredibly generic imagery. Immediately undercut it with like a series of comedy bits. And it's the same thing, like, every single time, right? Like, oh, Stark gets bitten by a snake. Who cares? It's a funny comedy bit. It doesn't matter. There's no stakes to it, right? Because normally you would expect the introduction of a character like this, right, is someone who, like, genuinely solves something that has some narrative tension to it, right? Stark gets bitten by a snake. This is a deadly poison. No one else knows how to cure it. He helps them manage it. You would expect that to matter somewhat, right? Like, you would expect the tone of the episode to treat that with some gravity rather than just, oh, this is a funny comedy bit. And, like, the repeated gag with the itty-bitty, teeny, tiny instruments, and then the episode trying to, like, draw this connection, right? Like that, oh, Frieren sees herself in him. And that's why she's sort of, like, both annoyed with him, but also maybe wants to recruit him. And then we get, like, this extended bit. Like, again, something about this feels so much like... Surely, if you were gonna do this extended bit about slowly trying to, like, convince this guy to come with you, just on a structural level, I would say, okay, so make that, like, 2 or 3 episodes where we actually have some time to delve into who he is and what his personality is like and why they might want him around. right? Like why they might want him with them besides just he's a convenient heal bot, right? This guy's convenient. He can heal things with cool. Like, but who is he? What's his personality like? Like, what are the qualities in him that would make them want him around outside of just he happens to be practically useful for a purpose? Like, why does Stark and Stern, that's their ship name, why do Fern and Stark want him around, right? Like, why, like, Frieren, okay, she has kind of a personal investment, right? Like, in that she sees something of herself in him, and he's like mournful and regretful the way that she used to be. Why do they care? Like, why would they want to spend all this effort trying to recruit the guy? Do they have a dynamic together? Well, no, not really. And then we get this extended MILF bit where it's like, no, that's not the category Frieren's character design fits in, I'm afraid. Ha ha ha. And then immediately after this extended MILF bit, now we're doing like backstory flashback and him like, oh, he's full of guilt because his brother sacrificed his future and career in order to... And then it's like, oh, there's a conflict between the two brothers, except we don't know this guy either. We haven't spent more than 45 seconds in his company, so why would we care, right? Like this thing of like, I've not regretted that decision even once. Okay, cool. It'd be good if part of the dramatic stakes here is that this guy has chosen the life in the village and he's happy there, then spending like a bit of the episode showing that this guy's happy and content and feels fulfillment in helping the villagers, whereas this guy is like stifled and unhappy and all just going through the motions and numbing his pain with alcohol and cigarettes and spending like a little bit of time on it. Just a little bit of time showing that this guy is miserable rather than just, oh yes, you're miserable because of the dialogue that said so. Oh, you're so sad. You're so sad and you're regretting your decisions so much in this village. Is he? We haven't seen him regretting his decisions. He's just kind of warbling around, doing nothing. Again, having this extended montage sequence of them trying to recruit him, right? This feels so much like this bit, all of this, and again, I don't know if that's how they did it in the manga, in which case my criticism applies to that as well, I suppose. Like, some scenes in here, one additional episode showing that the brother is very happy and content and feels at peace with his decisions, but the guy is constantly feeling the call of the world and is like, feels stifled and trapped and can't. But we don't show that, we just say it. Right, like we just have him and Frieren have a dialogue. Yeah, no, it's too late. It's too late now. It's too late because of it's too late. And Frieren has this flashback where it's like, oh, it's too late. I'm saying out loud now that it's too late, and I'm like, not really subtle storytelling. Not very effective. It's very, very tell because we can't be bothered to show, and that's, yeah. I don't think I really like this episode very much, especially if we're introducing any kind of major recurring character. Like, if he's just gonna get dumped 1 or 2 episodes from now, okay, I would still question why waste the time with him then. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was hoping it would be more of a positive return to reacting to Frieren, but I just don't think I really liked the way this episode was put together at all. It was very compressed. The tone was all over the place. His character design isn't particularly interesting. Like, we talked about this. Like, I did not clock this guy as a potential major character at all because his character design just doesn't seem to really imply it. Because he's Mr. Natural Hair Color with, like, he only really has a jacket. Like, look at them relative to these fucking guys as well, right? If he's supposed to fill the role of Highter, like, Highter has the more interesting character design by far. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, maybe like give it 2 or 3 episodes, he'll grow on me, he'll develop a dynamic with the others. We'll start to see a point to him, but as an introduction, this feels like very weak storytelling. Like, because it's trying for those themes, right? It's trying to sort of gesture towards this idea of carpe diem, right? Which is sort of the underpinning theme of Frieren's journey, is this thing of like, it's not too late. You can still experience life, and in fact, it is imperative that you experience your life now, that you grab your experiences by the horns now and exist in the moment now, rather than existing in your memories or in this state of sort of temporal disassociation where you just let time pass you by without paying attention to it. It's trying to reach for those themes. It's just, that's part of why Frieren is such a slow show sometimes, is that it's about being in the moment, taking this time, being present in it. And this episode really doesn't feel like it is. This episode doesn't feel like it's taking time to get to know this character, to care about who he is or his conflict or why he's feeling the way that he does. It's just, oh yeah, he had a friend flashback, a reach out hand, not go with, now sad because of, well, just moving on. Right. Yeah, no, this feels like a fumble. I mean, again, maybe there's context, maybe something will... God fucking damn it, I love those backgrounds, though. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at the way, like, the artist, like, in order to imply the roughness of the terrain, we just dab these little color spots on it, and then, like, from a good long distance, that sort of... But it's just, like, these little blobs of colors that are just, like, dabbed and added. Like, that's the lovely thing about the way watercolor works, the way that it blends, and the way that it interacts with itself. Just allows you to imply so much texture. Lovely backgrounds. Lovely backgrounds. Don't know so much about the episode, though. This felt really sort of TV anime episode of the week. Like, fucking... Speaking of that, actually, remember how they introduced Brock in the Pokemon anime? Like, that felt like they spent more time with the character and, like gave him more of an importance and more of an emotional arc and, like, a reason to go on the journey than this fucking guy. And, like, when I'm comparing the emotional depth of like, a character's introduction unfavorably to the fucking Pokemon anime for 6-year-olds, I don't know, man. I'm sort of talking myself into a more and more negative opinion about this episode as I'm going. It was funny. Like, I will say that. I was laughing. It was funny. The fucking... Like, this is still a very fucking funny joke to me that his brother just is like, yeah, no, we're practicing austerity. Use this wash basin, which is the size of a cup. Like, that's funny. It's also funny with the scythe, right? Like, that's a funny character trait that the brother has, that he's, like, super focused on being budget conscious or whatever. But again, it's not really a trait that seems to matter at all, right? Like, it's not... Because, like, in concept, the fact that the brother is so, like, austerity conscious, right? Like, he's like, nothing excessive. I don't need too much. I will use as little as I possibly can because I don't want to take up space in the world. Like, that could be an interesting character trait. That could be why he's happy staying in a small village rather than going to the big city, is because he has this internal deep feeling that, like, he doesn't really need that much. Like, he's very happy with relatively little in a way that his brother isn't. This could be something that has, like, a thematic component to it in the relationship between the two of them, even as a joke, right? Like, it could say something about him, but because this guy doesn't fucking matter at all, except as... It's still very funny. Like, this guy and, like, the relationship between Sign and his brother doesn't matter. time is not spent on it, right? Like, the two of them don't spend time. We don't have scenes of them together talking, having conversations independent of the main party or things that sort of relate to their, like, 20 years of history together. They don't bring up, their parents. They don't bring up, like, there is no conversation between Sign and his brother where we sort of get a sense of what their relationship is like, why they feel the way they do about each other. It's just, yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, enough complaining from me. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Yes, let's move on to the next thing.